जय गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदानन्दना जय व्रज जनरञ्जना जय यशोदानन्दना जय व्रज जनरञ्जना जय यमुनातीरावनचारि जय कुंज विहारी जय यमुना तीरावनचारि जय कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा मैया जय हो सुदर्शन जय गौरांगी बेंगलोरेश्वर जय गौरांगी बेंगलोरेश्वर जय गौरांगी बेंगलोरेश्वर जय गौरांगी जय लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा जय हो अनंत देव लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा जय हो प्रहलाद महाराज जय वामन देव जय वामन देव वामन देव जय हो वामन देव जय गौरनिताय 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 जय हो गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय हो प्रभुपाद जय हो गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्वरूप सरस्वत श्री श्रीमद श्रीमान ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन विभूति संस्थापकाचार्य जगत गुरु शील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य लीला पुरुष जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर को स्वामी महाराज शील प्रभुपाद की जय। नामाचार्य शील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। भक्ति प्रदायनी श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र गोप गोपिका राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। जय श्री सीता मैया श्री राम श्री लक्ष्मण श्री हनुमान की जय। जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेवा सुभद्रा महारानी श्री सुदर्शन महाराज की जय। जय श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा स्वामी भगवान प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। अनंत देव की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताई की जय। पंच तत्व की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। षड़ गोस्वामी की जय। गुरु परंपरा की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रील गुरुदेव की जय। समवेता गौरा भक्त वृंद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय। Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Books Distribution की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada की जय। निताई गौर सितनाथ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतिरुत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति निष्ठकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So welcome you all in today's morning session of Srimad Bhagavatam. And today we are going to read from Canto 4, in chapter 12th, entitled Dhruv Maharaj Goes Back to Godhead. And we are going to read and discuss text number 26. Let me share my screen. So wherever you are, you can recite it. अनास्तितं ते पितृभिर् अन्यैरपि अङ्गकरचित् अतिष्ठ जगतं वन्द्यं तद विष्णु परमं पदम् अनास्थितं ते पितृभिरन्यैरपि अङ्गकर्हिचित् अत आतिष्ठ जगतां वन्द्यं तद्विष्णोः परमं पदम् अनास्थितं ते पितृभिरन्यैरपि अङ्गकर्हिचित् आतिष्ठ जगतां वन्द्यं त्वद्विष्णोः परमं padam. So synonyms, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Synonyms: Anashtitam, never achieved; te, your; pitrabhihi, by forefathers; anyeha, by others; api, even; anga, o dhruva; karhichit, at any time; atishta, please come and live there; jagatam, by the inhabitants of the universe; vandyam, worshipable; tad, that; vishnoha, of Lord Vishnu; paramam, supreme; padam, situation. Translation: Dear King Dhruva, neither your forefathers nor anyone else before you ever achieved such a transcendental planet, the planet known as Vishnaloka, where Lord Vishnu personally resides, is the highest of all. It is worshipable by the inhabitants of all other planets within the universe. Please come with us and live there eternally. Purport: when Dhruv Maharaj went to perform austerities, he was very determined to achieve a post never dreamed of by his forefathers. His father was Uttanapad, his grandfather was Manu, and his great grandfather was Lord Brahma. So Dhruva wanted a kingdom even greater than Lord Brahma could achieve. And he requested Narada Muni to give him facility for achieving it. The associates of Lord Vishnu reminded him that not only his forefathers, but everyone else before him was unable to attain Vishnaloka, the planet where Lord Vishnu resides. This is because everyone within this material world is either a karmi, a jnani, or a yogi, but there are hardly any pure devotees. The transcendental planet known as Vishnaloka is especially meant for devotees, not for karmis, jnanis, or yogis. Great rishis and or demigods can hardly approach Brahmaloka. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Brahmaloka is not a permanent residence. Lord Brahma's duration of life is so long that it is difficult to estimate even the duration of one day in his life. And yet Lord Brahma also dies, as do the residents of his planet. Bhagavad Gita 8.16 says, Abrahma bhuna loka punaravartano arjuna. Except for those who go to Vishnu loka, everyone is subjected to the four principles of material life, namely birth, death, old age, and disease. The Lord says, Yad gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. The planet from which once going, no one returns is my supreme abode. Bhagavad Gita 15.6. Dhruv Maharaj was reminded, you are going in our company to the planet from which no one returns to this material world. Material scientists are attempting to go to the moon and other planets, but they cannot imagine going to the topmost planet Brahmaloka, for it is beyond their imagination. By material calculation, traveling at the speed of light, it would take 40,000 light years to reach the topmost planet. By mechanical processes, we are unable to reach the topmost planet of this universe. But the process called Bhakti Yoga, as executed by Dhruv Maharaj, can give one the facility not only to reach other planets within this universe, but also to reach beyond this universe to the Vishnu Loka planets. We have outlined this in our small booklet, Easy Journey to Other Planets. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौर्तुसे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। जयतं सुरतुपंगुर मम मंदमतिरगति मतः सरस्वपादां भजो श्रीराधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्याद बृन्दरण्यकल्पद्रुमदौ श्रीमदरत्नागरा सिंहासनो स्थो श्रीमदराधा शीलगोविन्ददेवो पृष्ठालिभिः सेव्या मनोस्मरामि श्रीमनरासरसारम्भि वांसी वटतट स्थितः कर्षणवेणुस्वनरगोपी गोपीनाथ श्रियेस्तु नः। तप्तकाञ्चना गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं। हरे कृष्णा। So welcome you all once again in today's Srimad Bhagavatam's morning session, and today we are going to read from Canto 4th, 12th chapter, entitled Dhruv Maharaj Goes Back to Godhead. So under that chapter, we are going to read from and discuss 26th verse. Once again, I'm going to read the translation. So, dear King Dhruva, neither your forefathers nor anyone else before you ever achieved such a transcendental planet, the planet known as Vishnuluka, where Lord Vishnu personally resides, is the highest of all. It is worshipable by the inhabitants of all other planets within the universe. Please come with us and live there eternally. So, for those who haven't joining this morning session regularly, I'm just going to give you a brief over here. So this is the the conclusion of the pastimes of Dhruv Maharaj, and he's going back to home, back to Godhead. And previous to this verse, it is we need to understand the background here to a little bit so that we can actually grasp this verse that we are going to discuss today. So here Dhruv Maharaj actually going back to home, back to Godhead, and Nanda and Sunanda, the two confidential associate of Lord Vishnu, they are actually coming from Vishnu Loka to take Dhruv Maharaj back to home, back to Godhead, Vishnu Loka. And here they are actually telling Dhruv Maharaj that, you please come with us and they are explaining that what is the destination that he is going to get. He said that, I mean, Sunanda and Nanda is saying that the destination that you are achieving, you have achieved, none of your forefathers have ever achieved in their lifetime, right? And this is the planet known as Vishnu Loka, where Lord Vishnu actually resides, and which is highest of all, and which is worshipable by all the inhabitants of all other planets within the universe. So please come with us and live there eternally. So we know that how Dhruv Maharaj actually, uh, you know, came to forest and performed austerities, right? And then actually he saw Lord face to face, and we all knows that he ruled the kingdom of earth for around 36,000 years, right? And then actually he wind up his pastimes here, and he's going back to Vishnu Loka. So Dhruv Maharaj's life is very exemplary for all the devotees who want to achieve success on the realm of spirituality. So that's what we need to understand from the perspective of a devotee, that what is required to go back to home, back to Godhead. Though Dhruv Maharaj's intentions in the beginning was not to achieve the highest aim of life, right? That is going back to home, back to Godhead, right? But still, he achieved the highest of everything, that is Vishnu Loka. So how does it happen? So if we start from the beginning, so there are so many things that we can take from Dhruv Maharaj's life, but first and foremost is the attitude which is being displayed by Dhruv Maharaj from the beginning. So if we see and if we look closely in the past time, then we can see that how Dhruv Maharaj got instruction from his mother, right? First from the Suruchi, his stepmother, and then from Suniti, right? Suruchi told that you have to take birth again, right? And you have to come into my womb. You have to perform austerities before that. You have to please Lord Vishnu. Then only you can come in my womb and you can actually take birth, and then you can actually sit on the throne with your father, right? Then Suniti actually instructed that what I have heard from, you know, the rishis or the sages, that one should go to the forest and please Lord, perform austerities and please Lord Vishnu. And then on the way, Narada Muni meets Dhruv Maharaj, and he instructed Dhruv Maharaj that you please, go back to home rather than performing these austerities. And we know that how Dhruv Maharaj was determined that whatever it takes, but he will go to the forest and please Lord Vishnu, and he will going to get, the kingdom greater than whatever being possessed by his forefathers, right? And with that intention, and so he was determined, and then actually Narad Muni instructed him, right, that how he should perform austerities, right? What mantra he should recite, and what, how he should take the progressive steps in, the yoga path method, right? So in that line, if we see that Dhruv Maharaj was very expert in taking instructions, right, and following them perfectly, because, and this is one of the biggest quality, or you can say it is a prerequisite basically, that, a devotee should have if he's having that aim to go back to home, back to Godhead. So if we are following the instruction perfectly, then only we can actually achieve whatever we want to achieve in this life, or in this loka or paraloka, whatever. So the first and foremost prerequisite is to follow the instructions. And that was perfectly displayed by Dhruv Maharaj, when it comes to following the instruction, he was so perfect that he followed each and every steps told by his Guru Maharaj, the spiritual master Narada Muni, and he followed those instructions by heart. And that was the potency of those instructions and potency of following the instruction properly, that he actually got darshan of Lord Vishnu face to face. And how he achieved that? Just by following the instructions of his Guru Maharaj and the elders of his family. And we know that in due course of time, after having darshan of the Lord, he actually ruled the kingdom for 36,000 years, right? And how in those times, this is the previous incidents that happened in earlier to this was Dhruv Maharaj attacked Alkapuri, right? And he actually killed so many yakshas, and then his great grandfather appeared, right? Swayambhu Manu, and he asked him to stop the fight, right? And again, he is displaying that quality of following the instructions, right? He didn't argue that why I should stop the fight, right? He simply followed the instruction given to him and he immediately stopped the fight. So we need to understand that a devotee's life is dedicated in following the instructions of his spiritual master or his elders. And by just by following the instruction, one can achieve the perfection. And this is what is being displayed in Dhruv Maharaj's life. And here Prabhupada is mentioning that when Dhruv Maharaj went to perform austerities, he was very determined to achieve a post never dreamed of by his forefathers, right? So his motive was not to attain perfection of the life. Rather, he wanted to achieve a kingdom that is greater than whatever his forefathers have achieved till now, right? And that is beautifully explained in Srimad Bhagavatam that akamo sarva kamo va moksha kamo udaradihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajet purusham param. So one who is having no desire, one who is having all the desires, one who is having the desire to attain liberation, then what they should do? They should immediately get into the devotional service, right? With all intensity. And then actually all the perfection can be achieved. Trivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajet Purusham. Just indulge in devotional service with all intensity by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, right? And here, Dhruv Maharaj is having the desires, right? It was not to please the Lord, right? We need to understand that he is not having that desire to please the Lord, but he wanted to achieve a post that is never dreamt of by his forefathers. And with that intention, he went into the forest and performed austerities, right? But still, he was able to achieve the perfection that is going back to home, back to Godhead, just because he actually followed the instruction properly and he performed devotional service. And that's what is important from the perspective of anyone who is walking on the spiritual realm or spiritual path. And here, Prabhupada is saying that the kingdom, his father was Uttanapad, right? And his grandfather was Swayambhu Manu. And his great grandfather, right? Means father of Swayambhu Manu. Who was he? Lord Brahma, right? So he wanted to achieve a kingdom greater than Lord Brahma's as well, right? And Dhruva wanted a kingdom greater than Lord Brahma, and he took the instruction from Narad Muni, right? And here actually Prabhupada is saying that the associates of Lord Vishnu reminded him that not only his forefathers, but everyone else from him before him was unable to attain Vishnu Lokas. Very important from the perspective of attaining the perfection of life is that no one is not that easy, right? Sometimes, when we remain in devotional service or in bhakti for a longer period of time, then we may have a thought that it's so easy, right? So maybe I can achieve this in this very life. This should be our aim, but it is not that so easy, right? We have to follow the instruction perfectly. It's not that we are following the instruction as per our own whims and ideas. That won't help. The only thing that will help is following the instruction as per the will of the giver, not as per the will of our own will, right? So it's a very beautiful story which demonstrate that what it means to follow the instruction. So there was one old man, right? And he was very sick, and he asked his four sons. He was having four sons, and he asked all the sons to assemble and told all his sons that please, actually, I'm very sick, and please, massage my body. I'm having pain all over the body, right? So what these sons did, that they have chosen one limb of the father, and they start massaging it, right? So one son took the left leg, and other son took the right leg, and so as other son, the third son took the right hand, and the fourth son took the left hand. So they started massaging it, right? So father was telling that, Arey, what you are doing, right? I'm having pain in my legs and in my back, but you are actually massaging my legs and massaging hands also. I don't need massaging of my hands. I need my back to be massaged, right? But they were so determined that, oh no, we want to just do the seva, or service to our father, right? And we will keep on doing this. So they started you know massaging father's body. But are they really pleasing the father? So if we look it from the external perspective, then also we will see that only two sons were following the instructions of father, because father was having pain in his legs, right? So one son is massaging the right leg, and one son is massaging the left leg. So they were actually following the instruction of father. But other two, they were actually massaging the hands of the father rather than massaging the back. And that was the will of the father, that they should massage the back, because he was having pain in the back, not in the hands, right? But they were actually having that idea that we should serve the elders, right? But they were serving as per their own whims and ideas, right? They were thinking that just by massaging, because father has told massage, we'll do it. But if the service is not done, this is called as proper attitude. So whenever we are doing any service to anyone, if we are not pleasing him, right, then this service, rather than it become a disservice to the that person, right? So now we need to understand that following instructions is important, but following instruction in right consciousness is very important. And that is the crux of devotional service, that we should follow the instructions as per the giver's will rather than our own will. So if we do that, if we follow the instruction as per the will of our Guru Maharaj or Prabhupada or previous acharyas, then only we are serving them perfectly. Otherwise, we are just making a show of devotional service. So, from that perspective, Dhruv Maharaj is an example for all of us to follow, that how we should follow the instructions, how we should follow the instruction as per the will of the instruction giver, right? So here, Dhruv Maharaj perfectly shown in his life, right? And one more aspect of Dhruv Maharaj's life was that he started his devotional service with the motive which was not spiritual in any sense, but still he attained the perfection. And that shows that even if we start our devotional service with any desire for that matter, But if we are doing it in line with the instruction given to us, right, then gradually we will become pure of our desires. And the day will come when we'll become not free of all the desire, but our desires will get purified. And this is how it works. That sometimes we think that the day will come when will not be having any desire. So that day will never come. The only thing is that we can purify our desire, we can purify our intentions, right? So having no desire is never going to happen. Like a flowing rivers, water will never cease to exist. I mean, never cease to be there, right? It's always be there. If somebody want to cross the river and he thinks that I will cross the river when all the water in river will pass away, then only I will cross the river. So that day will never come, right? That there will be no water in the river, then only you will cross the river. I am talking about those rivers who are flowing, all over the months, not the seasonal rivers, right? So if somebody is sitting on the shore of that river and is thinking that once all the river is going to pass away, then only I will cross the river, then that day will never come. So similarly, if we are thinking that all of our desires, when they will, cease to exist, then only I will start my spiritual journey, then that day will never come. So that's why Prabhupada, many a times he said in his lectures that we should start chanting Lord's name immediately, right? It's not that, once I'm not going to have that desire, or once I will get purified of my negative intentions, then only I will start chanting. So we should start it immediately, because this is the process which purifies our desires, right? And it so purifies that we will get perfection at the end of the day, right? And similarly, we can see in case of Dhruv Maharaj that he started his journey with a material motive, but still he achieved the perfection. The summum bonum of life is to go back to home, back to Godhead. And here Prabhupada is explaining that a transcendental plane, right, the Vishnu Loka, is especially meant for devotees. It's not for karmis, jnanis, or yogis, right? And great rishis or demigods can hardly approach Brahma Loka. So we see that people are following many yogic processes, right? They are performing it perfectly. But if they not have a tinge to serve the Supreme Lord, then nothing is going to work for them, because ultimately everything or everyone in till Brahmaloka, nothing is permanent, right? And because of this temporary nature, they are never going to be happy, because one who is entrapped in the temporary nature of uh, Lord's energy, then they will never get happiness. So happiness, they will get it, but that will be very temporary in nature. So that's what it is explained in Bhagavad Gita, right? Brahma bhuna loka punaravartino arjuna mamupettitu konteya punarjanmana vidyate. So from this planet till Brahmaloka, right? So there is, Prabhupada is explaining here that everyone is subjected to the four principle of material life till Brahmaloka. That is birth, death, old age, and disease, right? So whatever yogic process you may follow perfectly, right? If you are not actually into the bhakti yoga, then you cannot achieve the perfection. You cannot go beyond Brahmaloka. Even if you reach Brahmaloka, that is very difficult to attain, right? Very difficult to go to Brahmaloka. What to say about Brahmaloka, even Bhuvaraloka or Swargaloka, right? Right above the earthly planet, right? It is very difficult to go there. You have to perform so many pious activities, right? Then only you can be there in Swargaloka, right? And that too when Shirne Punya Mrityu Loke. Once your pious activities are finished, then you have to come back to uh, Bhuloka or Mrityu Loka, right? So that there is no way by which you can achieve perfection, just by performing pious activities, right? So pious activities may help you achieve the higher planets, but still the principle of birth, old age, death, and disease, that will be there. So you cannot actually surpass those four principles even in Brahmaloka. Even you achieve Brahmaloka, you have to die. Why you have to die? Because Brahma's duration of life is, you cannot count it, right? And we can't even imagine in our wildest of dream that the one day of Brahma is so long, right? So what to speak of Brahma's life? So even Brahma's life is longest among the living entities in this material world. Still, he has to die. Then, what to speak of is Loka, where other living entities has been, residing there. So they again is having duration of life longer than what we have in this material life in this Bhuloka, but still it is greater in comparison to Bhuloka, the life of person who is residing in Brahmaloka. So when Brahma's himself's life is very limited, then what to speak of other living entities? So they cannot actually reside in Brahmaloka forever, right? So Brahmaloka is again called as Satyaloka. So Satyaloka means the effect of other modes of material nature, right? Rajaguna and Tamaguna is negligible, right? So Sattva is the prominent mode in Satyaloka or Brahmaloka. But still, that planet will get disappear when Brahma's life is finished, right? So we need to understand from our perspective that whatever pious activities we may perform, right? That actually cannot help us go beyond this material world. We have to perform devotional service that pleases to the Lord. Then we will never come back here. So that's what Lord is saying in Bhagavad Gita 8.16, that Abrahma Bhuna Loka Punaravartino Arjuna Mamu Petyatu Konteya Punarajanmana Vidyate. One who achieved my abode, right? They never come back in this material world. Punarajanmana Vidyate. And then again, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that the Lord says, Yad Gatva na Nivartante Tad Dhama Paramam Mama. The planet from which once going, no one returns is my supreme abode. So wherever we may go, right? So Prabhupada says that, you may go to, many other planets in this material world, right? But you have to come back, right? You go to moon, you come back. You go to other planet, you come back. But once a living entity cross over this material world and go to Vishnu Loka, then that living entity never come back in this material world. And that's what Vishnu Dutas, Sunanda and Nanda are explaining this to Dhruva Maharaj. That this Vishnu Loka, this is what I'm going to again read it, that the planet known as Vishnu Loka, where Lord Vishnu personally resides, is the highest of all, and it is worshipable by the inhabitants of all other planets of the within the universe. So please come with us and live there eternally. So that's very important, live there eternally. Because there is no other planet where you can live eternally. So there is only one planet where you can live eternally, is Vishnu Loka, right? And it is the spiritual planet, and that's why one living entity go to this Vishnu Loka, the living entity never come back. And Prabhupada is explaining, further that many, material scientists are attempting to go to the moon and other planets, but they cannot imagine going to the topmost planet Brahmaloka, for it is beyond their imagination. Yes, it is beyond their imagination. They can't even imagine Swargaloka, what to speak of Brahmaloka, right? So they are just going to the nearby planets, right? And they are thinking that they have achieved so much in their life, right? But here Prabhupada is explaining that Brahmaloka is beyond their imagination. So even if even the Brahmaloka is the topmost planet, or you can say topmost loka in material world, right? But still, it is beyond the imagination of the so-called scientist. And Prabhupada is explaining here that my material calculation travel, if you travel with the speed of light, right, it would take 40,000 light years to reach the topmost planet, right? So we have, developed so many fast, machines that can take us to different places in a matter of seconds or minutes or whatnot. But even if we develop that, we cannot ever reach the topmost planet, that is Brahmaloka. And Prabhupada is explaining further that by mechanical processes we are unable to reach the topmost planet of this universe. So by any mechanical process, for that matter, any scientific process, if we use to reach those topmost planet, even in this material world, it is impossible. We cannot, reach there, right? But if we take to the process of bhakti yoga, right? And Prabhupada is rightly, stating here that as executed by Maharaj Dhruva, right? Why as executed by Maharaj Dhruva? Because he actually followed the instruction of his spiritual master, with all his heart. And Prabhupada is again, further saying that can give one the facility not to reach other planets within this universe, but also to reach beyond this universe to the Vishnu Loka planets. And Prabhupada is saying that we have outlined this in our small booklet, Easy Journey to Other Planets. So, in Easy Journey to Other Planets, Prabhupada is saying that we have outlined this, that you can go to any planet, right? It's just to attract, the people in general. Prabhupada actually wrote this book so that they get attracted, because at that time when Prabhupada wrote this book, the people were, very much interested in other planets, right? Because at that time the first moon mission took place. And Prabhupada is saying that, you can actually go to any planet in this world. And what to speak of any planet in this world, you can go beyond this universe to Vishnu Loka planets as well. If a living entity perform the process called as Bhakti Yoga as executed by Maharaj Dhruva, then actually one can go to the topmost planet, right? The topmost planet which is beyond this material world's boundary, and that is Vishnu Loka. So, from Dhruv Maharaj's life, if we just take this one part, which is following the instructions with all our heart, right? If we do that, then whatever may be the motive that we may have in the beginning, but just by following the instruction in the right consciousness, we can actually achieve the perfection of our life. If we follow the instruction given by our spiritual master, given by Srila Prabhupada, given by previous acharyas, then there is no difficulty in achieving whatever we want to achieve in this life. So, from Dhruv Maharaj's life, we have seen that how he was having a material motive, right? But still he got the highest perfection of life. And not only that, Lord actually fulfilled his wish of getting larger kingdom. What to speak of larger kingdom, Lord actually created a whole planet for him, right? That is Dhruva, right? So if in any case we having any doubt about that, how just by following instruction of the elders or the previous acharyas or Guru Maharaj, one can achieve the highest perfection. We have to look into the life of Dhruv Maharaj, right? So with that, I will conclude here. If you have any question, please let me know. So I think we are good. So with that, we will conclude here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, अमल पुराण श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शील प्रभुपाद की जय, शील गुरुदेव की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताई गौर सितनाथ प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल। थैंक यू वेरी मच। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.